There are moments in life when the shift is so sudden, so unexpected, it feels as if the universe itself has flipped a switch. For the chosen one, this isn't by accident, it is divine design. One moment, everything feels heavy, doors are closing. People are turning away, and progress seems impossible. You pray, you push, and still, you feel like you're walking in shadows. But then, without warning, the entire atmosphere around you changes. That moment when the pain starts to fade. When favor finds you again. When the right people start showing up and the wrong ones disappears, not random. It is a divine reversal, orchestrated by the Creator. It's as if God says, "Enough," and the entire realm of your existence obeys that command. What was hidden gets revealed. What was delayed gets delivered. What was broken gets restored. Overnight. This flip often comes when you're on the verge of giving up, when you've sacrificed so much yet seen so little in return. That is exactly the moment God steps in to remind you that your faith has not gone unnoticed. All the seeds you've planted, all the tears you've cried, and all the nights you stayed quiet while being misunderstood, suddenly, they come into alignment. The spiritual realm responds to timing that is not ours. You didn't miss your moment, it was being prepared for you. And when it arrives, it crashes through every barrier with unstoppable force. Favor begins to follow you. Peace starts replacing anxiety. The very people who looked down on you are now watching in disbelief. As your life ascends beyond explanation. People may call it luck or coincidence, but those who are spiritually awake know it as divine timing. This reversal is not just about material blessings, it's about restoration of identity. The chosen one often walks through seasons of wilderness, so they can recognize the magnitude of their calling when it is finally revealed. You were being stretched, not punished. You were being refined, not rejected. And now that the shift has come, every ounce of resistance has to bow to the new authority God has placed upon you. There's no fighting it, no blocking it, because what is divinely assigned cannot be stolen, only delayed. When the reversal happens, you start to see the beauty in what you endured. The confusion starts making sense. The silence becomes sacred. The pain turns into fuel. And most of all, the presence of protection becomes undeniable. This is what it means to be chosen, not just surviving storms, but seeing them reversed with power. You're not who you were yesterday. Everything that seemed stuck has now gained momentum. The doors that slammed in your face are now opening without you even knocking. That's what happens when everything flips overnight. Not by your effort, but by divine command. It is the moment your enemies are silenced, your name is honored, and your purpose is accelerated. This is your reversal. This is your proof that you are on divine assignment. There is a level of protection that comes over a chosen one when the spiritual realm decides to act. It's not always visible, but it is undeniably powerful. Sometimes, you can feel the shift in the atmospheric conversations that were once against you suddenly die out. Rumors no longer hold weight, and attacks sent your way bounce back with no effect. That's because someone, somewhere, has stepped in to defend you fiercely. Whether it's a divine presence, a guardian angel, or a vessel being used by God, your battle is no longer yours alone. When you are chosen, you carry a spiritual mark, and heaven assigns protection that is not negotiable. The warfare you faced for so long was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken what was already inside you, and now, the time for defense, not just survival, has come. There are people who plotted against you, hoping to see your downfall. There are environments where you were set up to fail, but what they didn't know was that the heavens have been watching, keeping score, and preparing a response. That response is fierce, intentional, and unapologetic. You may not see who's standing guard, but you will witness the results. People who once spoke against you are now silent. Systems that once rejected you are now opening up opportunities. The defense isn't just spiritual, it manifests in the physical world. A sudden shift in loyalty, a mysterious favor in the courtroom of life, a protective hand that guides you around unseen danger. These are all signs that someone is fighting for you hard. This defense doesn't come because you begged for it. It comes because your destiny demands it. You have a purpose too significant to be left unguarded. And so, when the opposition grew stronger, heaven answered by assigning warriors on your behalf. Not just angels, but even humans, people with power, voice, and influence now feel compelled to speak on your behalf, support your cause, and shield your name. You don't even have to be in the room anymore for your character to be defended. That is the level of spiritual covering you're now walking in. This isn't by chance. It's because you're chosen. And being chosen means you're not alone. In battle, what once seemed like isolation was preparation. What once felt like betrayal was actually redirection. Now, you're stepping into a season where your protection is visible, your support undeniable, and your enemies confused. How did you survive what was meant to take you out? How did you rise without their approval? The answer is simple. Someone greater than them was defending you. The kind of defense that doesn't just block arrows, but reverses them. The kind of protection that exposes every hidden enemy and silences every false voice. This fierce defender, whether seen or unseen, is relentless in guarding what God has ordained. You are not vulnerably, are covered, and not just gently, but powerfully. You'll notice it in the way fear starts to vanish. You'll see it in how the atmosphere changes when you walk into rooms. You'll feel it in the peace that replaces panic, because when heaven defends you, nothing can stand against you. And that's exactly where you are now, shielded, supported, and fiercely protected for the calling on your life. Being chosen doesn't always feel like a blessing at first. In fact, it often comes with seasons of rejection, isolation, and opposition that seem almost too much to bear. But it is through those very struggles that the proof of your calling begins to emerge. The greater the purpose, the greater the pressure. And when life becomes unusually difficult, when attacks become personal, when confusion clouds your direction, and when people begin to turn against you without cause, it is not always a sign of failure. Many times, it is the clearest sign that you are set apart. The spiritual realm recognizes your potential before you even fully do. That's why the resistance is so intense. You were marked from the beginning, and those attacks are not random. They're strategic. The enemy only fights what threatens him. And you, the chosen one, are a threat to every force that wants to keep people bound, hopeless, or distracted. There's a spiritual weight you carry that others may never understand. You speak differently. You see things others overlook. Your discernment is sharper, your heart more sensitive, and your soul more restless in environments that don't align with your purpose. These are not burdens, they are confirmations. You were never meant to fit in because your life was designed to stand out. The more you try to blend in, the more uncomfortable life becomes. That's because being chosen means being different. And with that difference comes an undeniable presence. A light that draws both attention and opposition. But here's where everything changes. When heaven decides that your proving season has ended and your revealing season begins. Suddenly, the same people who doubted you begin to witness the fruit of your resilience. Opportunities start opening in places you were once rejected. You begin to walk into rooms where your name has already been spoken with favor. And what once felt like hiddenness now becomes a platform. This isn't about ego or pride, it's about fulfillment. The time has come for the world to see what heaven already knew, that you are chosen, equipped, and assigned for something much bigger than yourself. And this revelation is never silent. The proof begins to show up in your peace, in your confidence, and in the way everything starts aligning without your manipulation. You start hearing confirmations through people you've never met. You receive unexpected blessings that match prayers you whispered in secret. Your strength becomes magnetic. Your wisdom becomes impactful. And your presence, once ignored, becomes respected. Not because you changed, but because the world is finally catching up to what God already declared over you. Being chosen comes with battles, yes, but it also comes with undeniable evidence. The way your life shifts, the doors that open, the favor that follows you, it all becomes part of your testimony. It is heaven's way of saying, "This one belongs to me." You don't have to prove yourself anymore. The proof is in your journey. The survival, the growth, the growth, they all point back to one truth. You are chosen. And it's finally showing. As we come to the end of this message, I want to remind you of one simple but powerful truth. You are chosen. Not by accident, not by man's approval, but by divine appointment. The shift you felt, the sudden protection rising around you, and the fierce defense of your spirit, these are not random moments. They are signs that heaven has moved on your behalf. Everything that flipped overnight was preparation, meeting, purpose. The opposition you faced was confirmation of your calling. And now, the very forces that once stood against you are being silenced by a power far greater than any earthly authority. You are no longer in hiding.